Hello and welcome to On This Day. Sometimes you get the strangest camera angles. I give you this. Here we are in the staff room, but it doesn't matter. We are going to do On This Day of the 10th of February today. So what do we do here? Well, we will give you some births, some deaths and some events that happened on this day. Today being the 10th of February. So born on the 10th of February in 1894 was Harold Macmillan, who was the British Conservative Prime Minister and politician. He was born in London. He was Prime Minister between 1957 and 1963. He died in 1986. In 1930, Robert Wagner, the American actor, It Takes a Thief, Switch, and Heart to Heart, was born in Detroit, Michigan. In 1981, Holly Willoughby, British TV presenter, born in Brighton, United Kingdom. Holly, who does Doctor on Ice and This Morning, among other things. Who died on this day? Well, Wilhelm Röntgen, German physicist who discovered X-rays, won a Nobel Prize in... How can he have won a Nobel Prize in 1901? That must be wrong. He won a Nobel Prize somewhere, obviously not in that year because he wasn't born. He died of cancer at 77. In 2003, Kurt Henning, the American professional wrestler, famous for wrestling in the WWE, was a two-time Intercontinental Champion as Mr. Perfect, also wrestled in WCW among others. He died at the young age of just 44. And Roy Schneider, American actor from Jules, The French Connection, powerful man, and Paper Lion, dies at 75, famously saying, I think we're going to need a big boat. What's happened? I've not written down how many there are today. There are quite a few. Should we go there? Yeah, why not? In 1720, Edmund Halley appointed as the second astronomer royal at the Greenwich Observatory. Edmund Halley, of course, famously named Halley's Comet. In 1863, the first US fire extinguisher patent granted to Anson Crane of Virginia. In 1915, US President Woodrow Wilson warns Germany that the US will hold it to a strict accountability for property damaged or lives lost. In 1933, shock horror, this one isn't a Nazi. This one is minus 54 Fahrenheit or minus 48 centigrade in Seneca, Oregon. That's a state record. Don't worry, the next one is about the fucking Nazis. In 1933, Adolf Hitler proclaimed end of Marxism. And in 1934, the first Jewish immigrant ship to break the English blockade in Palestine. In 1940, Tom and Jerry cartoon created by William Hanna and Joseph Barbara debuted on MGM. In 1941, anti-Nazi Hell Patrol begins publishing in the Netherlands. In 1947, the World War II peace treaty was signed. In 1986, to gain deregulation, WWF admits pro wrestling is an exhibition and not a sport in the New Jersey courts. This was coming up to the time just before the WWF became WWE, which it is still today. In 2018, Tottenham Hotspur edged Arsenal 1-0 at Wembley Stadium in front of English Premier League record single game attendance of 83,222 fans. In 2019, insect populations are collapsing worldwide, threatening a catastrophic collapse of nature's ecosystems, according to Global Review, saying 40% declining, 30% endangered. 2020, more than 30 bushfires put out by heavy rainfall for 30 years in New South Wales, Australia, helping one of the worst bushfire seasons. Over 46 million acres burned, over 1 billion animals killed, 34 people dead. And in 2021, astronomers confirmed the planetoid named Far Far Out as the most distant, orbiting the sun, almost 4 times more distant than Pluto. That is the best name ever, by the way. You're calling it Far Far Out. That's a bit like the king, isn't it, in Trek being Lord Far Far. Far Far Away, I think. Okay, some fun facts today then for you. The fun facts today are about the Empire State Building. How tall is the Empire State Building? It depends on how you measure it. At its top floor, the Empire State stands at 1,250 feet, 380 meters tall. Counting the spire and antenna, the building clocks in at a mighty 1,456 feet, 443 meters. It's currently the 4th tallest building in New York City, the 6th tallest in the United States, and the 43rd tallest tower in the world. How many steps? To make it to the 102nd floor observatory, you have to climb 1,872 steps. That's serious work. Thankfully, the Empire State Building houses a whopping 73 Otis elevators. You can are able to take you to the top and enjoy the views without breaking sweat. Every year, it hosts the Empire State annual run-up, one of the world's most famous tower races, where competitors make it up by a foot. And the lifts also in the Empire. I've been there. I could talk about this. The lifts in the Empire State Building are so great. It's incredible. It is also the world's most photographed building, allegedly. In 2011, Cornell University researchers analysed millions of photos and concluded that the Empire State Building is the most photographed building in the world. One of my favourite parts of New York was going up the Rockefeller and being able to photograph the Empire. Welcoming New York City's visitors each year hosts more than 4 million visitors to the Empire State Building from practically every region of the globe. You never know who you're going to meet at the top. Truly striking, the Empire State Building's antenna is hit by lightning an average of 25 times a year, making for some incredible photo opportunities. It's a city within a city. Many businesses call the Empire State Building home, including LinkedIn, Shutterstock, Coty, Citizen, HMTB, Global Brands Group, and Shakanska, with over 2.8 million retail square feet. The building has its own zip code, which is 1011A. Wave to neighbours, how great is our view? On a clear day, you can see 6 states from the observatory: New York, New Jersey. Well, of course, you can see New York. You're in New York. New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Delaware. And from the ground up, there is more than just a view. When you visit the Empire State Building, make sure to explore its beautiful Art Deco lobby. It's one of the few interiors in New York to be designated an historic landmark by the Landmark Preservation Commission, and I just about managed to get that out. This has been the 10th of February. Getting back on top of it now after missing a few, but there you go. I have been your host, Andy P, your man in the shed, occasionally. Hope you're well. See you, pals.